Amen. That's right.
Cornerstone, we may
can put our trust in, Lord. And on this Father's Day today, Lord, we thank you for all the fathers that are here. Lord, we thank you that you've given them to us for guidance and wisdom, Lord, and to be our strength and support, Lord. And we're thankful to the ones, Lord, that maybe are not close with their father, Lord. We're thankful that you are their good father this morning, Lord. We're thankful that you know them, Lord, before they were ever born. God, that you know them and had a purpose for them long before they were born, Lord, that they can always look to you as their Father, God, that everyone under the sound of my voice this morning can look to you as their Father and their Lord, God. We just thank you for that this morning. Lord, take this offering that we're about to have and just use it as you would see fit. In Jesus' name. You guys can be seated.
Stop everything. Give us one more.
She never taken it off. She never taken it off.
Okay, yep, you're okay. We're right back in service. Happy Father's Day from New Direction Kids. A couple of us thought we would come over and express how happy we are that you're our fathers, because we know fathers are a lot of different things to us. Some of you fathers are superheroes. Show us your best superhero. And some of you fathers are the cool dads. So we just wanted to let you know we know you are a lot of things to us and we love you very much. So for that, we at New Direction Kids wanted to let you know that we really care about what you say to us and what you don't say to us.
I think we need a smaller TV. Hey Grayson, you can watch TV all night long. Jada, when are you gonna get that nose ring? Hey Vincent, why don't we go take dance classes? I wish soap operas came on at night. I don't have never to take a bath. Hey Kayla, go take the car keys and go to Greenville and pick up all your friends. Have a good time. Hey, Red Faith, you don't have to go to school ever.
Hey Jane, you don't have to clean your room up. You just keep it messy all the time.
I don't like watching sports. Hey, take my credit cards and go shopping. Bella, you can eat ice cream all day. Hey Izzy, how about you leave the lights on all night?
all night long. Hey kids, come jump on my bed. Yes, Mommy does grow on trees.
The guy with the motorcycle, he's cute.
Everybody stand and read along and pray. Father, say prayer with us.
Dear God,
Dear God, please
Bless our dollars today.
give us will
For those families whose fathers are gone over the moon, give them joy today in the wonderful memories they have. And God, thank you for being our loving Heavenly Father. Amen.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
That's so quiet. It's like a principal walking up here or something. I ain't gonna write y'all up for nothing. Chatting a little bit or whatever. I get so used to getting ignored at home when I say, all right, I got something to say. I expect the same thing when I come to church. Oh, those of y'all, by the way, my microphone was a little redneck engineer this morning. It has like a little foam piece that goes over it. Well, me and John opened the thing up like 10 minutes before the service, and that thing's like gone. So what we did, we kind of like cut out a piece of foam and duct taped it to the end of this microphone. But it sounds pretty good out there. Can't tell the difference. Now we need to get in audio engineering. But
Oh, we're there.
that's what I'm talking about, man. That's it. But happy Father's Day to everybody. This is my first Father's Day, being an official father. And it's been a rough one too, because Eli's been sick. So just pray for him this morning. Michelle's home with him. He's had a 103 fever for like 3 days. So I think I just made him sick when I was sick a couple weeks ago. If y'all remember. But anyway, if y'all are coming today, if y'all weren't here last Sunday, I kicked off a new series that we're going to be doing about being someone that makes a difference in the kingdom of God. Someone that makes a difference is the title of the series, because someone that makes a difference in the kingdom of God was too busy to put as a header as a title. But last Sunday we talked about character, and it's going to be interesting because I'm going to actually tie part of this message into last Sunday. So if last Sunday didn't make sense, like where I was headed with that, hopefully after today you'll be able to see where I'm going with this message. But today I want to talk about something that each one of us has. If you call yourself a believer, if you have any relationship with Jesus Christ at all, you have this, your testimony. And contrary to popular belief, we kind of tend to make light of this word a lot of times, and we tend to make funny memes about it, and we imagine something like Medea saying, like, testify! But no, your testimony, everybody has a testimony. And if there's one thing I want you to take after today, I want you to realize that your testimony, your relationship, God's story in your life matters. And sometimes we try to compare what God's done in our life with others. And this is interesting because it's Michelle, that my very own wife has this little complex because she's always been a great Christian girl. I mean, she was a good girl when we got married. I mean, she always lived that right lifestyle. And she's like, man, I just don't feel like I really have a testimony because I wasn't ever addicted to drugs. I never went to prison and stuff. I was like, Michelle, that's a good thing. So don't sell your testimony short is what I'm saying. Because her testimony is that God can still bring up a young girl and walk her through those stages in life and still keep her pure and still keep her holy and smile and innocent as Michelle is. Like she's got her own testimony. So what I want to do, I want to explain exactly what a testimony is this morning. Because I don't want us to get caught up in the bunch of religious words and fancy words and misinterpret what it is. And the easiest way to do that is I want you to think back on the weekdays on the USA channel from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. when all they play is Law and Order reruns. Okay? If you've ever worked in EMS, you've had a partner that sits there and just watches Law and Order reruns all day. If you've got a grandma, you probably got a grandma that watches, instead of watching soap operas, nowadays it's watch reruns of Law and Order. But in watching that, I figured out what a testimony is. Because when someone's on trial and the jury is trying to determine who this person is, whether or not to believe them, whether or not to take them at their word, or whether or not to totally reject them and send them to prison, what they do is they call in character witnesses to validate their relationship with that person, and they'll kind of give testimony to whether or not that person is believable or not. And you and I are giving testimony for who Jesus is each and every day we walk out of the door. Each and every day. And what's crazy to think, because I want you to think back to last week's message when I drilled home character. When I drilled home character. The very thing that either tears a person down but makes the jury believe in that person getting tried or not is whether or not they believe in the witnesses. Whether or not they believe in the people giving their testimony. And a lot of times what a prosecutor will try to do, if they're sitting up there, let's say Kevin is on trial, something that may happen one day. If Kevin is on trial and he's something small or whatever, literally the defense attorney would call me and sit me on the stand and say, "Sir, Matthew Galloway, you're pastor, do you know Kevin Holland?" And I would say, "Yes, Kevin is a great character. It sounds totally unlike him." Or either I would say, "Yeah, I can see that happening." You know, and what the prosecutor would try to do then, if I vouched for Kevin and I sat up there and swore on the Holy Bible that Kevin is a good guy and Kevin is believable, is the prosecutor would try to tear me down. Because if he can get a jury to doubt my character, then he can get them to doubt my testimony about Kevin and whether or not it's true or not. My point behind saying all that is that Jesus is on trial in the world outside the doors. People are looking at him each and every day, trying to figure out if he really is the Son of God. See, Jesus got trial before he was executed, but Jesus is still on trial today. People are still looking at Jesus saying, "Man, why is this guy really who he said he is?" The neat thing is that Jesus has awesome character witnesses. People that know him, that get out there in the world and say, "Yes, I know Jesus because this is what he did in my life." But if you don't have character yourself, if you're not believable, then why should they ever believe your testimony? If they don't see true life change, if they doubt the genuineness in what you're saying, that's what I'm saying. You have to be someone that is dependent. Many a trial in the world has been won or lost on character witnesses and whether or not they were believable or not. They've interviewed juries after trials, and the jury members have always said, they're like, well, yeah, most of the time it goes back to a witness. Most of the time the scientific evidence is there, but it goes back to a witness. And if the witness is believable or not, is whether or not they acquit that person or whether or not they send them to prison. So who you are matters. Because who you are represents Jesus Christ. Acts 1 chapter 8, this is Jesus talking. He says, "And you will be my witnesses telling people about me everywhere. And I put that in your outline because I want you to realize that Jesus calls each of us to be his witnesses. If you claim Jesus, then you're giving either good testimony or you're giving bad testimony. And people are either judging him like, yeah, I believe that's Jesus because I believe that guy. Well, no, I don't believe Jesus because this guy's sketchy and I believe a word he said. Testimony is something that I think we sometimes we overlook because we'll realize that if I'm not a preacher, if I'm not a pastor, I don't have an impact on how people view Jesus Christ. Like, I used to sit out there in the very same seats and I was like, well, I really don't stand before people every day and validate Jesus because I was like, well, I was just a paramedic or a high school student at the time coming along in church. And until I doubted Jesus and I walked through that time in my life when I really looked at him and was judging him for myself, I find it, I don't think I knew quite as much how valuable people, like real people in relationship, like living their life. I'm talking about the men that get up in the morning and just put their pants on and go throughout their day as a godly man or woman. How much they validate Jesus Christ and him being real. You can tell your testimony in basically 3 ways, just because I like to kind of break it up and kind of make things simple. A lot of people think that you have to stand up in church and, this is my testimony, and if you're not crying or doing something funny, then you're not being real. But your testimony can be done in many, many ways. If you got your Bibles, go to John chapter 9, verse 1 through 11. We'll just read this story real quick. Some of it may seem familiar because we looked at it a couple months ago, but this is Jesus, and it says, as Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind since birth. Rabbi, the disciples asked him, why was this man born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins? It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins, Jesus answered. This happened so the power of God could be seen in him. Remember that line. We must quickly carry out the task assigned to us by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. But while I'm here in the world, I am the light of the world. And so, notice this is just a pet peeve of mine that churches tend to fall into today. When I read the Bible, stuff comes to light, stuff. Like, here's a man that's blind, and instead of sitting there seeing a man that's blind and figuring out how to help them, the religious people following Jesus around, all they want to do is have a debate about theology. Sometimes the church people get caught up in that too much. Don't forget people. Then he spit on the ground, and this is Jesus. He spit on the ground, made mud with the saliva, and put over the blind man's eyes. Then he told him, he said, go wash yourself in the pool of Siloam. So the man went, washed, and came back seeing. His neighbors and others who knew him as a blind beggar asked each other, isn't this the man who used to sit and beg? Some said he was, and others said, no, he's just a man who looks like him. But the beggar kept saying, yes, I am the same one. And then they asked, they said, who healed you? What happened? And then the man told him in simple words. He told them, the man they called Jesus made mud and spread it over my eyes and told me, go wash and you will see. So I went and I washed and now I see. That's a testimony. I just read it to you. It took 90 seconds, maybe. The whole story. What happened in the man's life? The man had a problem, and Jesus directly stepped into his life and made an impact. And did something in his life. Notice, he didn't even go to a church and have to sit there and say something fancy. The man simply asked him. The people noticed a change in him, and they asked him what happened. He said, guys, I'm just telling you the truth. I was blind, and this man Jesus healed me. testimony can be simple, but powerful. Jesus does so much sometimes to do for us, and we don't ever see it, or we don't give Him the credit. Jesus does so much in each one of our lives, impacting it in some way, and we don't give Him credit. More or less, people will come up to us and they ask us. They say, "What happened?" A lot of times we'll say, "I went to the doctor and I got eyeglasses and now I can see," or like it was a misdiagnosis. Something happened. Whatever. This story is near and dear to my heart because I kind of live it in Doug. I don't even know if Doug's in here. He might have to go. But there he is. Like a year ago, I told y'all this story several months ago. Doug was down one week, and he was bummed out and not being Doug, and he finally, I pinned him up in the barn. I was like, "Well, tell me what's going on." And he said, "Well, here's the deal, Matthew. Like, I went to the eye doctor, and they do like some little thing where they, in your eye, you know what I'm talking about? And they test the pressure. I don't know why they blow in your eye or what it does, but and they test the pressure. He said that the pressures in his eyes were like dangerous levels. And the person at the eye doctor told him that he was likely going blind from glaucoma. And he had another appointment in a couple of weeks to kind of figure out exactly what that looked like, what that would shape out. And so Doug's sitting there, he's wondering this for a whole week. And so I said, "You know what, we're going to pray about it." And I prayed for several days, how long it was. And I remember driving to work, praying about it and saying, and just having an overwhelming peace that Jesus Christ would show up and Doug not being worried. And Doug called me later on that day at work. He said, "I went to the doctor today and my pressures are like below normal. And they said I was fine." And so Jesus Christ still heals people going blind. But you know what my first instinct was to give the credit to something else. I was thinking, "Man, he must have went to a quack doctor the first time." But so many times we let our world, we let the doubt steal God's glory and steal God's testimony. But Doug still got a story about Jesus touching his eyes and healing him. I've got a story about my life about God reaching down, touching me in depression, and setting me up and giving me a heart full of joy. Something that I could not have fixed. That's a testimony. That's a witness that says, "I'm a child of God. This is what Jesus did to me." Because Jesus came walking in my life in a time when I needed Him, and He did something for me. Secondly, you can show Jesus your testimony. You can share your testimony through your life. And I hate so much Michelle's not here this morning. Because y'all know my life. Most of y'all know my life. And y'all know, like, I joke about it a lot. She walks around literally smiling all the time, no matter what's going on. She's got more joy, more positive energy, more just love for people, genuine love for people than I've ever met in my entire life. And I'm not saying that because she's my wife. I'm saying that because that's what I saw in her before I ever asked her out to date. I was like, man, something about her was different. She carried a light. Matthew 5:16 is her favorite Bible verse. Listen to Jesus talking. He says, "You're the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your Heavenly Father." In other words, if you've got joy, if you've got peace, if you've got Jesus Christ living in your heart, He doesn't want you sitting in your room playing video games. He doesn't want you sitting there pretending that you don't have overwhelming, weird joy sometimes. That in a situation you can still find yourself smiling. He wants you to be a light. Crazy thing about Michelle said, she says it all the time. She says, "You know, I'm so happy because I might be the only Jesus somebody ever sees." She says, "I might be the only Bible they ever pick up. The only encounter with Jesus Christ they might have might be through me. That I'm representing Jesus when I'm out in the world and I'm doing it. If I'm acting like a sourpuss then why is that going to make Jesus attractive? How am I going to look different from the world? But no, Michelle was purposeful about shining and putting her wattage on bright. I joke about it. She hugs everybody 3 times before she leaves on Sunday morning. It's so hard to get her out the door. You know, Michelle was in college and she lived with, she went to Meredith. Hey, shout out Meredith. All-girls school. And she moved in with 3 other girls like her freshman year. Michelle's always been the way she is now. Like, she's the most genuine person. People ask me all the time, they're like, is Michelle really like that? Michelle was giving birth to Eli, smiling and asking the nurse, like, how is your son? Is he beautiful? Yeah, that's such a beautiful baby. You know, the name tags that I was just like, but she makes me laugh. But she was sitting there, and she was in college, and she had 3 roommates. 2 of them were believers. One of them wasn't. One of them comes from like a very what I call like liberal family, you know, right? Like too educated for Jesus, that kind of thing. Did not believe. This girl lived with Michelle for a year, and finally, after a year, this girl said, like, I get like you're different. Like, I get there's something genuine in you that can make you smile and make you have hope and make you love people when you shouldn't love people. And they sat there one night, and Michelle shared with her about faith. And that girl now leads youth ministry in Raleigh. Because you see, but Michelle never said a word to her about her faith. She just lived it. And the girl saw that there was a light in her that she wanted. You can go out there and hold a door for an old lady and give a testimony about Jesus Christ. You can go out in the world and smile and put up good Facebook posts when you shouldn't be putting up good Facebook posts, when you're having a bad, terrible week, and you can give a testimony for who Jesus is. That's just incredible to me. Without saying a word, people can still see Jesus and see hope in him. Just walking around, being a Christian. Loving God and loving people. And then lastly, you might get hurt that day. People can see God in your change. I'm going to read you a quick verse that comes from Acts chapter 9. And I'm going to tell you about a guy named Saul. Just from Acts chapter 9, verse 20 through 21. A little bit of backstory between Saul. Saul was a man who God changed his name to Paul and literally wrote half of the New Testament. He was the greatest church leader and evangelist the world has ever seen. Like, not only at that time, but ever since. Great man of God. Do you know where Paul came from? Paul came from beating up Christians, trying to throw them in jail, trying to kill them. What that would equate to today, let me give you a real life example. If Paul were alive today, who he would be in his old life, he would be an ISIS member hanging out with something like that's how vile and despicable he was. He literally drug Christians. He hunted down Christians like dogs and drug them out of the house and whooped them, had them arrested, thrown off into prison. He stood by as another pastor that day was stoned. And he said, you know what, I'm doing a good thing. Let me hold your jackets for you. And he stood back and held his jackets and smiled while they killed this guy. That's the type of dude that Paul was. But then Paul was going to another town one day to arrest more Christians, and this is what happened. Jesus Christ came down on that road, just out of the blue. Nothing that Paul deserved, nothing that Paul earned, but Jesus just decided, you know what, I love you and I've got a plan for you, and I want to come show you who you've been picking on this whole time. And Paul's life was changed. Paul was no longer Paul when he stepped off of that road. Jesus Christ changed him. And the change in Paul became his testimony. It says, Saul stayed with the believers in Damascus for a few days. And immediately he began preaching about Jesus in the synagogues, which was like the churches of that day, saying, guys, he is the Son of God. And look at this. It says, all who heard him were amazed. It said, isn't this the same man who caused such devastation among Jesus' followers in Jerusalem, they asked. And didn't he come here to arrest them and take them in chains? You know what Paul's greatest testimony was? Not what he said, but the change in his life. That people saw that this was the same dude that was beating them and killing them. And now all of a sudden he's standing there saying, he is Son of God. He's different. They saw Jesus in his life and they saw him tangibly working. And that became his greatest witness for Jesus Christ being. See, they knew that Jesus had done something in Paul that was beyond Paul. That as far over here as Paul was in his old life, that for him to get over here and proclaim Jesus as the Son of God, something more than humanity had to touch him. And it was Jesus. Y'all, notice I was trying to think of a way to illustrate this. How many of y'all know what this is?
Shannon.
Shannon, thank you. Somebody knows what it is. Tell the rest of y'all about dirty cars. Back when I was like 14, 15 years old, I powered around Mario a lot. Now my brother-in-law, that's such a cool story. But we used to get up there at the fire department like every Saturday. And just because I was 14 and didn't have anything else better to do, I thought that like washing trucks was like the coolest thing in the world. I don't believe that now. Look at my truck. That stage in life is past. When we get in there and we wash our vehicles and we wash like every fire truck, because I was on the fire department, it's a cool thing to do. We'd wash like every fire truck. And how many of y'all have ever tried to dry off a fire truck with a towel? Okay? Like, literally, so we were sitting there and like you would like wipe off all of this water. And it would literally take you like 10 towels for one fire truck. Like, because by the time you got it, be soaking wet, you just have to throw it away, get a towel, you start. It was just a painstaking thing. We were sitting in there one day in a little day room after washing all these trucks, and we done washed the trucks, we done hid the towels, like we stuffed them in some lockers, and we did the women's auxiliary, we cleaned up once a year every time. And we were sitting there, and this dude, a little dude with a beard that got way too excited about little things, trying to say stuff. What was his name? It was like Billy something. On the infomercials. Bill Mays, thank you. Nickname, my boy. He was sitting there, and he was sitting there, he was like, guys, and we were just sitting there, we just got done washing it, and he was like, let me tell you about the new exciting product of ShamWow. You can wipe it, you can swipe it, and then when you're done, you can wring it out, and you can go again. And he was like, way too excited about it, and we were just sitting there laughing like, this dude is way too excited about a towel. And then I was like, let me guess, it's going to be $19.95, and it was like, I think it's like $9.95 or something. I'm like, guys, this is dumb. We all agree unanimously that it was the dumbest thing in the world to pay $10 for a towel. But, lo and behold, Mario come up the very next month or whatever, and he said, hey man, I got Shannon. Let me show y'all how it works. And you see, I said, man, there ain't no way that thing works as good as they say it does. There's no way that it's how, I remember when Shannon was in this, how old I am. And we kind of picked on and all that stuff. Mario went to one fire truck, had it wiped down in like 2 minutes with this little shimmy. We were still over there like trying to find fresh towels and stuff. And he come over here and we're like, man, maybe there is something. Maybe there is something. Mario flipped it over there to me. He said, try it out, man. And I got out there and I wiped it off, and sure enough, like I could wipe it and I could swipe it, and I was blown away. You know what sold me on the chamois? I went out and bought one the very next week. Never used it, but I bought it. I went out and bought one the very next week. You know what sold me on the chamois? Not that I saw some dude on TV telling me about it and telling me how wonderful it was. Not that Mario told me how wonderful it was. I still wasn't sold. I got my curiosity up. But what sold me on the chamois was that I saw it used and I saw it work. Sometimes people see Jesus work in your life and they believe it because they see him work. They can see who you used to be, and if they're close to you at all, they can see you change into something totally different. something that's not you, something that's not people influencing you, something that's totally beyond yourself. I think my greatest testimony is who I used to be and who I am now. A lot of times we say we don't have a testimony because of who we used to be. That I used to live this life and my friends know that I used to be this way, so that there's no way that they can believe that what I'm telling about Jesus is true. Let me tell you something. If you're really changed, that's the greatest witness for what God's done in your life. Because they see you changing into something that's totally beyond yourself. And when I did it, I sat back like Paul. I could have been like Paul, and I could have said, there's no way that I can get up here in front of Greene County people who I party with, who I've been with, who just see me at my work, and sit there and now tell them I'm going to be a pastor. But you know what? So many of my friends are impacted the greatest in my ministry because my friends see Jesus working in my life. They see the change. I don't care where you've been, you haven't killed another Christian. Paul had, the greatest evangelist ever. He killed Christians. And God took his old life and he used it in his greatest glory. Sometimes your greatest failures don't rob you of the microphone, but they give God the greatest stage. As Kevin comes up here and closes out. See something, this is just singing. Think about your life. It's like there's processes of figuring out how to be influential in the kingdom. I'm totally leaning this. I haven't thought of what I'm saying, but you're changed, and then you go out and you share with him. You share with him what Jesus has done. Like, if you can get to that point where you realize that you're valuable, that you've got a story to tell, that you've got a perspective of Jesus that no one else on earth has, then you can start to be a dangerous tool with the kingdom. So he's closing this out. Everybody stand on their feet, worship. The altar's open if you need to come. Remember he loves you.
Jesus is calling. Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar. Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ.
I feel like I'm supposed to say this as I was praying. There's been people in this world that have been impacted by faith. Like you've got someone beside you that claims to be a Christian, but maybe just hasn't represented God in the best light. And it's caused you to doubt and you wonder and just not take God for what He should be. Let me just challenge you, hang around us for a while. We're not perfect people, so we're going to disappoint you. But what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're not perfect, but God loves me anyway. And let our testimony hopefully point you back. I don't do this because it's fun. I do this because God changed me. And He's real. And He's been working your whole life to get you to the point where you can hear me say these words, that God loves you. I don't care if you got through here or not, something got you here today. God will work in your life to hear that. God hasn't given up on you yet. I love you. We love you. God loves you. Have a good Sunday.